I... The moment I opened the patio door and stepped outside, I knew something wasn't right. The night air was thick, humid, almost electric. Like the storm that was about to break had already settled into my chest. My stepmother, Vanessa, was sitting in the hot tub with two of her friends, laughter floating over the steam. But there was something else, a tension that I couldn't put my finger on yet. Vanessa's friends, Karina and Sasha, looked up as I approached. Their eyes lingered just a little too long. Their smiles too wide, too knowing. My gut twisted. I should have turned around right then, but curiosity won. It always does. "Come join us, sweetie," Vanessa said. Her voice syrupy sweet, but laced with something I couldn't quite identify. She patted the edge of the tub. "The water's perfect." I hesitated. The three of them were dressed in swimsuits that left little to the imagination. Vanessa's deep red bikini clung to her like a second skin. Karina's emerald green suit sparkled under the patio lights. And Sasha's black one-piece had strategic cutouts that made it clear she didn't care about tan lines. It felt wrong. But before I could decline, Sasha reached out and grabbed my hand. "Don't be shy," she said, pulling me closer. Her grip was firm, her nails digging slightly into my skin. "We don't bite." My pulse quickened as I slid into the hot tub, the water scalding against my skin. Vanessa poured me a glass of wine, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against the glass as she handed it to me. "Relax," she said, her smile widening. "We're just having a little fun." I took a sip, the wine sweet and heady, but it did nothing to calm my nerves. The conversation started innocently enough. Talk about their yoga classes, a recent charity gala, some gossip about neighbors. But then Karina leaned closer, her eyes locked onto mine. "Do you ever keep secrets?" she asked, her voice low, almost a whisper. The question caught me off guard. "What?" "Secrets," she repeated, her lips curving into a sly smile. The kind that would shock people if they ever found out. I glanced at Vanessa, but she just sipped her wine, watching me over the rim of her glass. Sasha chuckled, the sound rich and throaty, as if Karina had just said something hilarious. "I don't think so," I said, my voice uncertain. "Oh, come on," Vanessa teased, leaning back against the edge of the tub. "Everyone has secrets, even the good girls." Their laughter rippled through the air, and I felt my cheeks flush. I tried to change the subject, but they weren't letting me off the hook. They started sharing their own stories, each one more outrageous than the last. Vanessa talked about sneaking off with her personal trainer. Karina confessed to borrowing a yacht without permission. And Sasha, well, her story involved a movie star, a scandalous party, and a penthouse suite. The more they talked, the more I felt like I was being drawn into something I couldn't escape. The way they looked at me, their eyes glittering with mischief, and something darker, made it clear they were testing me, pushing me to reveal something about myself. But I didn't have anything to share. At least, nothing like what they were talking about. And then Vanessa said something that made my blood run cold. "You know, we've been watching you." I froze. "What? You think we don't notice the way you look at people?" She continued, her tone playful but her eyes sharp. "The way you're so careful, so controlled. It's like you're hiding something. Or maybe you're just waiting for the right moment to let it out." Karina and Sasha laughed, but there was nothing lighthearted about it. My heart pounded as I tried to come up with a response. But my mind was blank. The air felt suffocating, the steam from the hot tub mixing with the tension until I could barely breathe. Vanessa leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "You don't have to pretend with us." Her words hung in the air, heavy and charged. And that's when I realized This wasn't just a casual night in the hot tub. They had planned this. They wanted something from me, something I wasn't sure I could give. My chest tightened as I looked at each of them in turn, their faces expectant, their eyes hungry for a reaction. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, the ground crumbling beneath my feet. And then, before I could stop myself, I blurted out the secret I had been keeping for years, the one thing I swore I'd never tell anyone. Their reactions were immediate. Vanessa's eyes widened, her lips parting in shock. Karina's hand flew to her mouth, and Sasha let out a low whistle. For a moment, the only sound was the bubbling of the hot tub and the distant rumble of thunder. "Well," Vanessa said finally, her voice laced with something I couldn't quite identify. "I didn't see that coming. I expected them to judge me, to laugh or scold me, but instead, they leaned in closer, their curiosity palpable. They wanted more, and as the night wore on, I realized that I wasn't just a participant in their game. I was the prize.